Here's your best friend Bob again with another curious piece of hardware and a little bit of an off-the-cuff exploration of it. This is the WonderSwan, a mobile video game. It's your best friend Bob here again with another off-the-cuff exploration of a gaming hardware curiosity. Today it's the WonderSwan, a handheld gaming console released by Bandai in 1999, only in Japan, famously designed by Gunpei Yokoi, the man who single-handedly put together every single original Game Boy in the factory, and who tragically died before the WonderSwan was released. It is obviously a little strange looking just from the sight of it with the extra buttons. These are so you can do this, and you can play with a vertical screen orientation for puzzle games or shooters or what have you. But there's some other weird things about the WonderSwan that I find interesting. This particular clear blue plastic copy is looking pretty good. It has an expansion port thing that's just a piece of the PCB sticking out, not a plastic port or anything. But one of the more interesting things about the WonderSwan is it runs on a single AA battery, and the battery is held in, come on, a weird little caddy. So if you buy a WonderSwan, make sure it comes with the battery cover, because otherwise you're kind of screwed. Let's take a look at what a game looks like and what it looks like on the console. This is Mobile Suit Gundam MSVS. It's a Gundam game that is entirely Japanese. It's some kind of adventure strategy thing. I can't play it. I don't know Japanese, but you know, it looks cool. And it was, when I got these things, it was relatively cheap. You see, it comes in a little plastic little holder. Of course, comes with registration cards, advertising. There's of course registration cards, little ads and folders, and the instruction manual. The game cartridges look like this, with these exposed pads that slide into the console just like that, so that the cartridge kind of almost sticks out entirely, but it's kind of nice. Let's try our best to play. The WonderSwan has like a little information bar on the bottom. This is a vertical game, but as you can kind of tell, I'm going to need to fiddle with the contrast here to be able to see anything. And you know, the sound quality isn't great. But let's just try to get into the game a little bit. Yeah, so this button, as you can see a little icon, adjust the volume, and then it's just about having fun on your WonderSwan. If you can kind of get it into the, you know, this wouldn't be a great experience in the back of a car. I can kind of tell. Here's some Gundams. There's our boy. And there's the rest. All the Zakus. I believe it was just a matter of weeks after the release of the WonderSwan that Nintendo announced the Game Boy Color. So obviously Bandai had to respond, and they responded with the WonderSwan Color. I have a nice pink metallic specimen here where you can see the screen has been well used and loved in its life. Buttons are a little yellowed, but it's on an otherwise good condition. Has a slightly different design to the original. There's some more plastic back here. All of these came in all kinds of colors. So I don't know if this original WonderSwan not having icons or text on the buttons, if that was true for all, you know, color styles or whatever. But here you can see Y123, X123, and A, B labels on the buttons, and the power button has been moved here. It's no longer a switch. There's still a contrast. The extension port is still there. You still have the weird little battery cover. There is now also a lock switch so that you can't take the battery cover out unless it's unlocked. And other than that, it's the exact same console, but just with a color screen. WonderSwan color boxes are also slightly different. You can see, of course, they say color. and they're slightly taller. Original WonderSwan games will work on the WonderSwan Color. I don't think WonderSwan Color games will work on the original WonderSwan. But other than that, it's exactly the same experience. Same kind of cartridges. This is clear. Can't really tell if that's also just a WonderSwan Color thing, but they have clear cartridges. Wouldn't surprise me, Nintendo did something similar. Power button is a little finicky. Unfortunately, it's still not backlit, and it's still not a great screen experience. See, like, I can't see it much better than you at this angle. Somebody has whoever I got this cartridge from has a lot of saves. Like, yeah, you have to get the angle just right in order to play. It looks, no, you know what? It looks a little bit better in person. If I look like this, I can see it, but you can't. It still has the same, oh my god. Let's try to get an angle here. Let's try to get an angle here. It has the same little information bar over there with the sound and whatever other icons there might be. What does contrast do? Yeah, contrast does do stuff. But it's a bit of a horrid experience. Very classic, no backlit screen type thing. The screen itself is also, there's like quite a bit of ghosting going on. It's not great. What another interesting thing about this particular pink version is there's like this weird metallic texture, this rough texture to some of these outer curves to give it a little bit more of a metal look. Don't really know what that is. But anyway, Bandai wasn't done, because after this, they released the final form of the WonderSwan, which is the Swan Crystal. A little bit more refined look and style. It has a nice two-tone color. This also came in various colors, has a nice glossy plastic. But other than that, same buttons, same battery cover, bump thing, same extension port. But the big improvement here is that the screen is supposed to be a lot nicer, less ghosting, a lot more clear. Therefore, the Swan Crystal name, I guess. I find it a little strange that they changed it from WonderSwan to Swan Crystal. By the way, WonderSwan, top 2 best names for a game console, right? The other one is Dreamcast. There are game boxes that say Swan Crystal on them, but they are otherwise the same as WonderSwan Color games. So let's just take a look at what Final Fantasy looks like in this. Yeah, you can tell immediately. It's a much better screen. There's no contrast slider this time. Look at that. You can actually tell what's going on. And if I angle the way I look, I can still see some of what's going on. So like this, it's perfect for me. Like that, it's perfect for you. Except you can see the reflection of my lamp. But much better. No ghosting. Very clear. Just not backlit. No forward lighting either, which is a bit of a shame. I don't know. I've never played Final Fantasy 1. I believe this game is a total from the ground up remake of Final Fantasy 1 exclusive to the WonderSwan, which is pretty cool. Is this run? No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Ooh, you still see a little bit of it disappearing very slowly. So that's the hardware. But now let's take a look at some interesting games that I own. So this game is, and pardon my pronunciation here, Tane wo Makutori, which translates to seed sowing bird. And it's not a very interesting game at all. It's just a very simple puzzle game. You may have encountered it before, this type, where you have to make a drop of water fall down on the right side, you know, to plant a seed or whatever. So the game itself is just that. It's a very simple puzzle game. But when you look inside, you get the game, of course. You get registration card, manual. But you also get this little book, this little hard cardboard book that tells the story of the game, I assume, which is, you know, that Bird is very sad and wants you to take down capitalism or something. with this beautiful art. And it's just such a nice little extra to have with what is otherwise a particularly simple game. That's really cool. I'm not going to bother playing the game because it really is just a simple puzzle game. Then there's also the game named after Gunpei Yokoi, which is a puzzle game in which you have to connect lines from one side of the screen to the next. Nothing much interesting about this one, but it's nice to have. There's a color version as well called Gunpei EX or DX, and it's been ported to all kinds of systems since. But one of my favorite games is called Rhyme Rider Kerorikan. 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 Yeah, sorry, I can't. Oh, look, you can see it there. Kerorikan. Which is a rhythm game, and it has a really cool box because you open it like this. You see our heroine is unmasked, and oh, there's the name of the game. Rhyme Rider Kerorikan. And it opens even further with these funky designs and all the details. Really cool. And then inside, there's even more bonus stuff. Because you get the game, of course, which we are going to take a look at because it's interesting. But you also get me being clumsy. You get whatever this is, a little information card. You get, this looks like instructions on how to clean the cartridge. And the registration card. All good, but this is the manual, and it's not just a regular manual. It shows you how to play the game, and it comes with these little playing cards, which is super cool. It only comes with one suit. I don't know if you had to buy like extra, if there are instructions here on how to get, but this is the manual. Look at that. It's showing all the steps of how to play the game, and it's on the back of these playing cards. There's a word for it. There's a word for it, right? Delightful, fun, a really cute way of adding something special to this game. The game itself is a relatively simple rhythm game platformer, reminiscent of Vib Ribbon on the PlayStation. If you know that one. I'm sorry, I just want to touch it and play with it. It's fun. So let's take a look. I'm really shit at it. The instructions should tell me exactly what I need to do, right? The instructions are, you can kind of tell, you're walking down this artistically designed plane, and then icons pop up, and you have to hit buttons corresponding to those icons at the right time. So let's try. There's one more weird thing about this game, which is delightful, and that is you play it holding it like this, diagonally. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, so I'm hitting the wrong button, right? What is that? What am I looking at? A little armadillo. A or B? Hey, this is the farthest I've ever gotten in this game. Oh my god. Okay, I don't have rhythm. So that is the WonderSwan, my little collection. I got all of this and a little bit more. I have a couple of other games that aren't that interesting, and I have a blue version of the WonderSwan color. Relatively cheap, bunch of years ago when I had just a tiny little bit of extra money left. Look, this amount. They're a little more expensive nowadays, but it is still a very funky console to collect for. And even though it only released in Japan, there's tons of them about. They mass-produce the shit out of these things. I believe there is There are backlit screen mods available for the WonderSwan color. I don't know about the WonderSwan crystal. Don't care. I might pick up a few more games to make the collection a little bit larger, but it's all just so much fun. It's so nice and delightful, and it's kind of a shame that it never came out outside of Japan, really. Because, I don't know, it probably wouldn't have succeeded against the Game Boy juggernaut, but there'd be more interesting games translated into English that I could play, which would be cool. Thank you for watching. I love you. Bye.